Well, my spooky boys, my spooky broichy boys, it is that time of year, finally.
Yes.
We've made it to Halloween, finally. It is here, it is upon us, and what a great time for this season with the moon out and the wind blowing and the leaves rustling through the grass and through the streets. We have decided to capstone this Halloween with some howling at the moon with the Wolfman.
Wolfman.
So this is from, I think it's 1941. Yeah, it says right there.
Lon
1941.
Chaney Jr.
Yeah, Lon Chaney Jr.
Son of the man of what? Man of 1,000 faces or whatever? Lon Chaney Sr.
Yeah, the Phantom of the Opera. So it runs in the family. So, have any of you seen Wolfman?
I watched it. Remember when I was talking about how I was starting to watch these and then like I fell asleep during one?
See
And that
that?
was
Yeah,
during
that's
Wolfman?
why.
It was about
Your
like a
dream
half hour into
soul,
it,
yes, your dream soul
maybe? My
watched
dream
it.
soul did. Yeah. 100%.
How about you, Wilson? Have you seen this?
At some point, I
Yeah.
saw it a long time ago, but it has been long enough to not make any difference. And I like Frankenstein and Dracula before it. So much of these movies, just like the imagery or the mood of it is so indelible that it just kind of stays with you no matter what.
So let's do a little quick trivia here. What do you? I know we talked in Dracula about the lore behind Dracula being this undead creature of the night and all these rules that were established within Bram Stoker's Dracula, like how to kill Dracula, but then how it's like evolved from like from just those simple rules of killing Dracula with a stake through the heart, or like the sun, or holy water is like acid in their face, and vampires eating food tastes like ash in their mouth and things like that. What do you guys know about the weaknesses and things like that of the Wolfman?
The Wolfman, the immediate thing that comes to mind is silver.
Yeah, silver bullets.
Does Wolfsbane have anything to do with it?
Wolfsbane was in Dracula, at least that movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's all silver. I think it's mostly silver, and that's the only way to kill it.
Yeah.
Or to reverse the curse or something like that.
I was gonna say, yeah, isn't it if the wolf kills the one that turned it? Isn't that a situation?
Oh, interesting. Maybe.
Very possibly.
I just know that
in some it is, yeah. In some it's not.
I just know there's a difference between, I guess, the lore that's established in Dracula and what it's evolved into now. Yeah. And I think they've kept a lot of the established lore for the Wolfman from then till now, you know? So, like, right. I don't think there's a whole lot of other things that can kill the werewolf, because, I mean, it's satisfactory enough to be like, oh yeah, something's silver. A silver bullet. It's perfect. Yeah, sure. Sounds magical, sounds interesting. It's like you're putting the moonlight in a bullet and shooting the moon at it, you know? Right. The silver moon. Right. Yeah, I guess we're going to watch through Wolfman 1941, and then we're going to discuss it and see what we think. And then maybe we'll rate all the ones we've watched up until this point. And yeah, bid farewell to the spooky season. But let's get into the Wolfman. That's how these things end.
Picture.
They had a knack for just ending abruptly, you know, these movies.
It's like, dude, shit's done.
It's done. We got to 90 minutes. We're done.
We're done.
All right, so there was the Wolfman on this All Hallows Eve.
Der Wolfman.
Lon Chaney as the Wolfman.
Yeah, Der Wolfman.
So overall, cool story. Took a long time establishing the lore and the secrets of the werewolf, but then when we finally get
We did
to
get some lore dumps, which was okay.
man, we didn't even show up until man
Yeah,
42 minutes in. We don't get
42 minutes.
oh my gosh, like the first
But
shot of the Wolfman.
you gotta think about too. I wonder just how terrible and how long being in that makeup was too. Suppose they probably didn't want to do it too much. It also just works like a lot of things when movies withhold the monster. Um, it works to for a big reveal at a point, right?
I thought so. I liked Larry Talbot as a character.
Me too.
Yeah.
They're a very youthful 35-year-old Lon Chaney Jr. who didn't at all look older than the guy playing his dad, who was 52 at the time of the movie.
Yeah. Let's quick go over out of all three of these films, which one's your favorite? Or maybe just rank them. Just rank them.
I think it might actually go in the order we watched them in.
Okay.
For me. So
I'd say that.
Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman. I liked all of them quite a bit,
Sure.
but I think, I obviously have the already had a history with enjoying Frankenstein. But yeah.
Same with you, Wilson?
Yep.
Any
I think Frankenstein most, Dracula second, and Wolfman third.
Wolfman.
Can you pinpoint one thing, Wilson, like out of Frankenstein that you like what stood out to you the most other than like I guess the acting or like the characters, like if it's set pieces or music or mood or something like that?
It's the sets. 100% it's the sets.
Yeah.
Like the matte paintings and just the lighting and like how they put together where people occupy space in the movie looks so good.
The lighting is like is so like so much more. I don't know if it adds more drama or just it adds so much more to the tone, I think, in Frankenstein. And this one was really good, but they obviously had a bunch of other new techniques to use, whereas like with Frankenstein and Dracula, like we were talking about with those, is they mainly had lighting to play with, and that's about it. And here you start getting, some higher tech things and some special effect type things where you got, the screen in the background when they're driving, or you've got the, there's the transformation. There wasn't the like iconic transformation, right? The one that I'm thinking of where it's just his face turning into it. I don't think we had that in this.
It was the feet.
We just had his feet.
Yeah, his feet.
We just
for
had
the
his
most
feet.
part.
So is that from a sequel?
Well, no. They're at the end when he's transitioning back after getting bludgeoned.
But it's not even that. Like, there's like
there is one where it's like his
iconic.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And that
shot of him from the face. I don't know if that's from a Universal Wolfman one, but I swear it is. Must be a sequel or something.
Right, where it shows his face turning into the wolf, not like the wolf disappearing back into the man. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's just that slow, frame by frame of more makeup being on and shit. And one of the other things we talked about with Dracula was like if that movie is like the origin point for like a lot of the like has a lot of the lore we all know about vampires in it. And this, we were kind of curious about the same thing, and it did have the silver in it. But one of the main differences is it wasn't a full moon that changed him. It was when the Wolfsbane are in season. That's when they change for some reason.
I will say, looking back on this, where it has some sensibilities of movies that are around now, I should say, where if it's like an A24 or the modern horror where like the Babadook or something, it's like an allegory or an analogy for some kind of trauma or stress induced thing where they could have went
Or
that
like his
route
dad
where
said.
this
His dad
guy,
said the duality of man.
yeah,
right?
like they got into that side of things where it's more psychological. Like, is it all in Larry Talbot's head that he's
Right.
like thinking these
He
things,
is
and
this monster. Yeah.
he has a monster inside him that like personifies outwardly, and he becomes a ravenous, crazy guy, like a horny guy. Because that like that's how we
Walks
see
a
him.
horny path, dude.
He walks a very horny path.
Oh,
So, and you get that imagery from like cartoons. The wolves howling at the hot ladies, like woohoo, and whistling and stuff, and
It's called a wolf whistle.
yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, there is that aspect to it that if somebody was going to do a modern take on it, I could see them just doing that. Like, oh yeah, he's not really turning into a wolf. He's just
Like Blumhouse coming out next year. Or this year, whatever it is. There's a new Blumhouse Wolfman.
Okay.
Yeah, the trailer looks awesome.
Yeah, it's directed by the same guy that did The Invisible Man for Blumhouse. So we are getting a new one.
Yeah, I think this Halloween was interesting because we got to revisit some of these classics, and we haven't done that really. Previous Halloweens, we've done like the Halloween tree, if you guys remember that, right? Where it's like
we do more obscure things.
It was, yeah, the Halloween tree was kind of a weird instance where it was like an educational movie, kind of.
Yeah,
it was weird. But this goes back to the classics of the mood of October and things like that.
This was like I was talking about when we were doing Dracula, how this was a time after he did Dracula, he got typecast, so it was hard for him to find work. So he did a lot of side parts in these like Universal movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Bela in this, and then he does Igor in Bride of Frankenstein.
Right.
Like, so he hangs around. Surprisingly, only plays Dracula like one last time after OG Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Lon Chaney who actually takes over as Dracula. No, he takes over as Frankenstein. I don't know. But yeah, he surprisingly only plays Dracula one last time, and that's like towards the end of his career.
Crazy. Yeah, I guess we did our ranking. Yeah, I would say my ranking also is how we watched it. Yeah, it's close, and it's neck and neck for Dracula and Frankenstein for me. I do. Yeah. I think Frankenstein.
I like Dracula a lot.
Yeah, Frankenstein gets the edge.
I like the tone a lot. Yeah, I like the tone of Dracula a lot. I just like fucking just Bela Lugosi. Period. In that movie, he's so good.
And great
lines.
There's
that iconic line, the children of the night. You know what I mean? Like that line is. Mwah. He delivers it so well.
There isn't really a whole lot of line delivery in this that were kind of iconic, other than
not much. No,
the gypsy talking about the ways to kill a werewolf.
Right.
A silver bullet.
Yeah, there was one line I liked, but it was so quick and just kind of off the cuff that I do not remember it whatsoever. But
see, the way we were talking about it during our watch through is we looked up their ages because they didn't look like father and son, the Larry Talbot and his dad. So throughout the movie, I thought they mentioned their ages.
No.
We just read
it out.
We just read that, so it's like through us talking when they had scenes together, like, oh, I'm 35 and I'm 52. Like,
yeah,
I had a feeling that there was a line delivery, like, Dad, I'm 35. I need to find a woman or something,
It just blows my mind that a man who is 35 but looks at least 45, and his dad who's like 52 but looks like he could be 45 as well or younger.
They look like they could be brothers or friends, yeah.
But they're actually 17 years apart in real life. It's just fucking Lon Chaney Jr. aged a little bit harder than he did.
Right. To some people, life is very simple.
Yeah.
that's pretty much all we have to say about the movie. It's a classic. I mean, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Go watch all 3 of them. Go watch even The Mummy. We didn't really have time to watch that one.
No.
But these are like the triple threat, I would say, of the monster genre.
Yep. Another classic. Well, there's Bride of Frankenstein. That's a lot of people say is better than OG Frankenstein. You should check that out. Also, it sounds silly, but the Abbott and Costello ones are supposed to be really good too. Meet Frankenstein or whatever.
Meet the Wolfman, Meet Frankenstein. Yep.
Yeah. Those are also ones to check out. Invisible Man's also available on Prime right now as well.
Mm-hmm. That's where we're watching most of these. So yeah, there's Invisible Man out there. There's both Wolfmans, the Benicio del Toro one, and then there's like, I think Nosferatu's on there that you could rent or buy.
Yep.
There's a full catalog of stuff on there.
The like sequels and stuff are all on Peacock, I believe. So that's where you can check those out.
Awesome. Well, anything else to add on this spooky night? Go out there, get some tricks and treats, and then sit down and cozy up
Watch a
classic monster movie.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
even if it is the Benice fucking boss battle, goddamn Wolfman.
Yeah, there's a time and place. There's a time and place for that. You know, their heart was in the right spot for when they made that. Like, they wanted to do something different and interesting, and if they failed or succeeded, it's up to the viewer. But there's some things you can find out of the spooky moons, the sets, whatever,
the tone, lighting, all that. The mood,
right? And we hope the mood is right to watch a classic monster movie on this Halloween. And from everybody here at Farghoulnauts, stay spooky, and we'll be back soon with more stuff.
Awoo.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Woof.